Before we get into this special weekend edition of Just the Truth, let me tell you about the latest special from Michael and Dell at MyPillow. The standard MyPillow, normally $49.98, for a limited time only, just $14.88 with promo code Joey. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and see all the specials. There's a limited quantity of just 10 at this special price. That's $14.88 with promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. I had an opportunity to play at a golf tournament a few weeks ago, benefiting the Tamassee DAR school in Tamassee, South Carolina. Now, if you don't know where that is, it's in Oconee County, right on a beautiful campus at the foothills of the mountains there. The school was founded in 1919 by the Daughters of the American Revolution and has a rich history of educating children in the area. Joining me on the show today is John Holland, the CEO of the school, and Jason Eller, the development officer. Gentlemen, welcome. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having us on.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. John, I want to start with you. Give us a brief overview of the history of the school and why it was started and how it has evolved over the decades.
Sure. So in our 106-year history, I think the theme that runs through everything we've done over that century has been improving the lives of children, giving children for whom life and circumstance have kind of hemmed them in, maybe trapped them and their families in a cycle of poverty or struggle, trauma. We've been a door to open for them to give them opportunity. So we did that for about 50 years as a private boarding school. The Daughters of the American Revolution recognized 100 years ago there weren't public schools. Kids needed an education to have opportunities to better their lives. So we were a private boarding school. And then we morphed into a children's home in partnership with DSS and our school district to support children in need of out-of-home care, to help them heal from those life circumstances. And Jason, in telling his story, he's a product of that season of Tamassee's life. And then a few years ago, we morphed again and became a sober living community for mothers with children who, as a family, are recovering from addiction, domestic violence, and other forms of family dysfunction, to help them kind of reinvent and restart their lives and find the fullness of life that's meant for them. And then we have some wraparound educational programs, both for those families that we serve on campus and for the wider community, an early learning center, an after-school and summer day camp program. So right now we end up serving about 150 children and moms across everything that we do as an agency.
Wow. And you guys touch a lot of lives. You can see that just in looking at your website and the various programs. And I want to get into some of those programs in a little more detail a little later in this segment. Jason, if you would, take a minute and talk about your journey and your experience with Tamassee DAR.
Sure. Thank you, Joey. I appreciate that. So I started my journey at Tamassee. I grew up in Oconee County. I was born in Oconee County, so I'm native to it. But we lived in a little town of Walhalla at the time. And just my background is one of a family that came from domestic violence, alcoholism, drugs were all a part of that. Prison time was part of that too for much of my family. And one of the things that happened to me in my relationship with Tamassee is I remember vividly going into a little closet when I was 10 years old, or before I was 10 years old, and just saying, God, if you exist, now's the time to show me.
Wow.
Because I didn't know what was going to happen next. And sure enough, God does exist. He came in to remove me from that home through the Department of Social Services of South Carolina 3 months later. And I was placed in the care of a nearby foster home, which happened to be the deputy sheriff of Westminster at the time. So I traveled back and forth to school in the back of a police car because I didn't usually go to school, Joey, at that time. So usually back then, the bell didn't ring all the time, or the bell didn't ring when you stepped out the door of a school building back then. So you could play hooky a lot easier back then. So he made sure we went to school and stayed in school.
Wow.
After a brief period there, I was placed at Tamassee DAR school. And I spent my entire journey from fourth grade all the way to graduating high school here. And I was the first in my family to do so because of the great scholarships that donors provide, the great care I received at Tamassee at that time as a children's home, and all the folks who poured into me at that time. I learned all sorts of skills, from work skills to jobs, other job skills, social skills, I was on the clogging team here when we had clogging. So we did a lot of different things to prepare us for real life too. And then I graduated from Tamassee and I went to school at what's now Southern Wesleyan University and received a degree there. And that's where I met my wife. So I give credit to Tamassee for that too, for helping me find my wife. And and like you, Joey, I married up as well. And I took a wife who was both chemist and biology. She's super smart and just really blew my socks off. And we met in choir together because I was a music major at the time.
Yeah.
So after going to school for a while, the administrator at that time said, "Hey, I need you to come back and do some fundraising." He said development. And I had no clue what development meant at the time. And so he said, just share the mission is what was given to you to folks. So that's what it was. So that's what I started doing when I came back the first time. And there's been a long journey since then. And God has really blessed us and blessed Tamassee over those period of years for me in my life. What I've been able to put back into it is nothing compared to what was poured into me.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
Wow.
So that was my journey in being in development. I've been in development either at a university college or here at Tamassee DAR school. So most of my career has been in the fundraising, public relations side of things.
That's an amazing story, Jason. And I had no idea. I've never heard that story, so I didn't realize that you were a product of Tamassee. I mean, what a testimony.
Anyway.
Yeah. That is quite amazing. John, the campus is known as the place of the sunlight of God. Expand on that for us.
Yeah, so it comes out of a fundraising story, actually, that an early DAR lady made up about us. But as a moniker, it really has stuck for over a century. And people say, I mean, continually, guests, volunteers, certainly children, moms that we serve, they repeatedly say that when they come to Tamassee, they find peace here. They find a serenity, a calm, a healing presence here. And we know that that's the manifestation of the love and grace of God in Christ. And so we've been a place where people have found light again, people who've come out of very dark circumstances and situations in their life. They've found the sunlight of God when they've come to Tamassee. And we love to be mirrors and refractors of that light that helps people step out of darkness into wholeness.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful campus. You're in a beautiful area. Any idea of how that location was chosen back in the early 1900s?
Absolutely. So the South Carolina DAR had voted in 1914 that they wanted to start a school for girls in a place remote yet accessible. And a DAR lady from the Walhalla chapter, her name was Mamie Harrison Jones. She wrote the state region of South Carolina, who lived in Clemson. Her husband was a professor at Clemson, Grace Ward Calhoun, and said, "I have 50 acres that if it would be a good site, I'd love to donate it for the school." And then she asked, it was her uncle, wasn't it, Jason? I think it was her uncle. If he would donate some adjoining land. And then actually the grandparents of our South Carolina state representative, Bill Whitmire, his grandparents gave an additional, I think, 10 acres or so. And that became the original plot of land on which the school was founded.
Yeah, well, it is a beautiful site for sure. Just when you drive onto the campus, and Peg and I've lived in the upstate of South Carolina my entire life, but I'd heard of the school, but Peg and I have just been in the area for about 5 years now. And but one of my afternoon drives, which I like to do, she says I get in my car and I have no idea where I'm going, but I just drive. And it took me through your campus one day. I just pulled in and drove through. And what a beautiful campus you have. Jason, I want to come back to your story though, and some of the let's get specific with some of the programs that you offer now. And one of those is the Navigators After School program. Talk with us a bit about that.
So, and John can speak to this because his wife, Jenny, actually is a director on that program. But Navigators was created for children who are coming from the community who really needed the support, educational support outside of a traditional classroom when it was started. So these children some are coming from difficult backgrounds themselves who need help with their education, help with homework, It's very different than other after-school programs because we really dig into where are they now educationally, how are they doing, and we work with other schools in the area. We actually do pick up ourselves at some other schools in the area to help that family when they have, especially a single parent who may have to work a job and cannot get them to an after-school program. Well, guess what? We're able to pick those children up and bring them over here and be with us as part of our program and offering to them.
Yeah.
And so we do a fantastic job with these children who come in who need homework help. We have tutors for that, volunteers from our community who will come in and work with our children. We have a plan for each of these children. Our goal for them is to get them on grade level or higher. And we also have enrichment opportunities for them, arts and crafts, music, several other opportunities of robotics that we use. And we coordinate that with Brief, which is another nonprofit who come alongside of us as a partner. It's just been really exciting to see these folks grow. And part of that is that we have 4 pillars. You want to talk about the 4 pillars, John?
Yeah, sure. So not only are we giving them the academic support that Jason just described, but we're really setting alongside families to help shape children's character. So the Navigators program instills a commitment to dignity, passion, courage, and service. So we want children to learn that they should treat themselves and other people with respect. We want them to learn that they can face the challenges that they have in life and overcome them. We want them to find their passions, the things that they enjoy, and to pursue those with hope and happiness. And then we want them to take their place in helping make their community and the world a better place. So those 4 kind of pillars, the points of the compass, that's where the kind of the Navigator theme comes from, is to instill those four values in the students that we serve in our after-school program.
Sure. John Holland and Jason Eller are our guests today from the Tamassee DAR school. John, at the golf tournament a few weeks ago, we heard a wonderful testimony from a young lady who has benefited from your Starlight program. Take a minute and talk with us about the Starlight program and the impact it's having on young mothers and their children.
Yeah, so the passion of our Starlight program is the miracle of generational change. So while I didn't grow up at Tamassee, my family background is pretty similar to Jason's. I grew up in a family that for a couple of generations have been characterized by domestic violence, various forms of addiction across generations in my family, family dysfunction and brokenness, and God intervened in my life, my brother's lives, to help us be the generation that broke that cycle. So we have lived that story that you don't have to repeat the broken patterns of your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents. And so many of the mothers that come to Starlight at Tamassee, that's their family story. Their family has struggled with these kind of challenges: addiction, domestic violence, assault, abuse, neglect. Those things have repeated in their families across generations. And we want to intervene and empower those mothers to break that cycle in them and in the lives of their children, so that those mothers, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren can tell a different story about their family line. That's the vision and the passion of the program. So we do that in a pretty distinctive and unique way in the world of recovery services. So mothers and their kids, one, that's the first distinctive, is that many residential recovery programs are only for men or women, but ours is a family program. So moms can come with their children. We only serve mothers, either with their kids or who are working to get custody of their children back. And then moms can be with us for up to 3 years. The science says that on average, it takes about 2 years for your brain to heal from substance use. And so if you only give a mom 28 or 90 days in a recovery program, you're not giving her the service and the time that she needs to truly restart her life and be successful. So we've created a program that gives her the time that she needs. And then we're also serving her children alongside of the mom with therapeutic services and academic support. And then everything we do with the family is really holistic. So spiritual growth, recovery services, individual counseling, group counseling, relationship skills, job development, job skills, life skills, everything that a mom needs to really, truly restart her life, we give her over the course of those 2 or 3 years that she's with us. So it's a pretty distinctive and unique program. But as you heard in the testimony from our mom that shared at the golf tournament, it's a successful program. Yeah. And what we're seeing happen in the lives of these mothers really is miraculous and beautiful to watch.
Yeah. And what I love about it too, John, Jason, both of you have talked about your faith and the important place that holds in your life. And that's what I love about the school as well, because, your programs have a faith component. You're introducing these children and their families to the love of God. And so, that's just really special there for sure.
Yeah, it's our joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been fortunate enough that a lot of these ladies go to, all of these ladies go to my church, Welcome Wesleyan. And I have seen baptisms and seen them take some roles, some spiritual growing roles, and also helping in the church now. So they're just doing a wonderful job. And again, that's another partner we have, and very thankful for them as well and supporting this Starlight program with us.
Yeah.
And to see their lives change has been incredible. From where they started to where they are now has been an incredible journey to watch, and it's been God favored, I believe. So it's been a wonderful work of grace for them.
Yeah. For our listeners today, if you'd like additional information about the great work that the Tamassee DAR school is doing, just go to their website. That's tdarschool.org, the letter T, DAR school.org. Check out all the programs they have to offer. Let me encourage you to hit the donate button as well. You can donate on the site and help support the great work of this organization. And while we're talking about donations, Jason, let's take a minute and just give us a quick glimpse of the financial side of the school and what your needs are.
Yeah, so we're in a campaign like most other organizations are. So it's called the Faithfully Forward campaign. That's our annual campaign. The hardest dollar to raise, Joey, is always the unrestricted dollar. And what does that do? Well, that allows us to use it for the greatest need today. So when a donor gives, they give it unrestrictedly. Well, we can pay the light bill with that. We can buy food with that. We can pay our staff and teachers with that. We can provide for counseling for our mothers. We can provide for early learning services. We can determine that when a donor gives and trust us with that dollar, so we can make sure that all the services that we're providing are doing excellent work and they're all being provided for. So I would encourage donors, if they want to give it online. Go to tdarschool.org, click that donate button and make a gift today. Or if they're more savvy and want some more tax credit options, they can use their donor advice fund, they can use their IRA. There's several different ways in which they can give. They can use stock to give. There's other ways in which to do that. And they can contact me if they have questions. Our number here is 864-944-1390, and my extension is 107. And I'm happy to speak to them about that. Or if they want to make a longer term opportunity and a larger impact, we have other capital campaign needs that we're doing. We want to grow our programs as well because there's a larger need for Starlight, and we want to change some more lives on our campus through renovating some more buildings, and we have a campaign for that. Would love to talk to folks about that as well.
Sure. Jason, John, it's been a pleasure. Thank you again for what you do, and thanks for your time today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you having us, Joey.
Sure thing. Joey Hudson here. America is facing a health crisis, and the answer isn't more meds. I lost over 30 pounds on the PhD weight loss plan without Ozempic or any weight loss shots. Don't settle for a lifetime of medication. GLP-1 injections like Ozempic help some people lose weight, but they come with side effects, high cost, and most gain it back when they stop. At PhD Weight Loss, we reveal Big Pharma's big secret. Your body already makes GLP-1, the appetite-fighting hormone. Our program helps your body make it naturally so you'll drop the pounds faster. With the PhD method, no side effects, no long-term risk, no rebound weight gain, just natural, lasting results, all without hunger or cravings. Right now, get a free body scan and personalized metabolic assessment. Discover your body's true potential without a shot. It's free and gives you the keys to your personalized plan. Do like I did and don't trade your health for a quick fix. Call now at 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900 or visit myphdweightloss.com. myphdweightloss.com. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Listen up, golfers. If you're looking for a new course to play, we have another great choice for you. Here in the upstate of South Carolina, you're going to find one of South Carolina's most historic golf courses in my hometown of Greer. Greer Golf is an 18-hole public golf course owned and operated by the City of Greer. The course has been renovated, offers practice facilities so you can improve your game. And joining us today to tell us all about it is Red Watson, the City of Greer's Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Assistant Director. Welcome, Red. How are you?
I'm great, Joey. I appreciate you having me on this morning.
Well, it's a pleasure. I appreciate your time, and I love talking about golf. So let's just start from the beginning here. Tell me how you did this. Now, I'll admit it's been years since I've played what I know is the Greer Country Club, and the last time I tried to play it, Red, I could have done as well probably in my pasture in the backyard. Now the course, I mean, it's amazing. Recently made it on a statewide best of list. According to the Golf Pass Golfer's Choice list for 2025, Greer Golf is ranked number 15 on the list of top public courses. Congratulations.
Thank you. We take a lot of pride in that. That list was created by golfers that actually vote after they play around at the course. And, you know, for a public parks and recreation department to take over a course and kind of catapult it up to one of the top 15 public courses in the state, we're very proud of that.
Yeah, and as you should be. So let's just kind of start from the beginning, Red. In 2020, the City of Greer purchased the course. Take it from there.
Sure. Well, they had some financial difficulties and were looking for someone to purchase the course. And, you know, of course, they wanted it to remain a golf course, and there's a lot of development in Greer. So I think it sort of makes sense for the city to step in and take it over as a recreational facility. So we did that. Traditional recreation, we didn't have a whole lot of experience as far as running a golf course, but we had a lot of good resources around us, and we saw an opportunity to take the biggest public park at that time in the city of Greer and just take the operations, identify what needed to be replaced or fixed or changed, and we started day one. We made immediate investments to the fairways and tee boxes, so we killed all the grass and sprigged Tahoma 31 Bermuda grass, which at the time was sort of a new thing to the hybrid Bermuda grass market. And it has been sensational. And that, to me, is the biggest investment that we've made, was just the fairway grass and the tee boxes, reestablishing that.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, what an undertaking. And you bought it kind of right in the middle of COVID. I mean, what were the challenges or additional challenges that you faced during COVID?
Well, you know, you're exactly right. You know, we get a golf course, don't know a whole lot about it, and then COVID hits, and we're like, man, we have to make this thing revenue neutral. We've got to operate it and not lose money. So it seemed like a very daunting task, but ironically, during COVID, golf was one of the sports that thrived. You know, there's a lot of space. You could socially distance from people, but still get out and enjoy yourself. It's a lot different than a gym or even a ball field where you're more contained to a smaller space. So when we bought it, we were very lucky that we lowered the price a little bit. We got people out there, and we had good activity during that time, and that really sort of set the ship in the right direction at that time and gave us some much needed momentum.
Yeah. With me today, my guest, Red Watson. He's the City of Greer's Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Assistant Director, and we're talking about the Greer Golf. You can go to greergolf.com to check it out, make your tee times. All right, so I got to ask you, Red, looking back on it, is there anything you might have done differently?
You know, I ask myself this a lot, and Joey, I don't believe there is. I just feel like, you know, thank the Lord, every decision that we've made, whether we knew it at the time or not, has eventually led us to the success that we're having now. And there was a lot of pain, a lot of sleepless nights, especially when we sprigged those fairways and we were waiting on them to grow in with 100-degree temperatures in the summer. But everything is just sort of fallen into place for us. When we bought the course, they were down to about 10 to 12,000 rounds per year, and we're still calculating numbers right now. We're up to about 40 to 45,000.
Wow.
Play is robust. We've paused accepting memberships because you got to remember, as a public parks and recreation agency, it has to be available to the public also.
Sure.
So we're trying to find that balance between how many members can we have to still offer a golf experience to the public, but also still give ample tee times to our members. So, you know, we've come so far to where the growing pains now are just figuring out where we want to limit and how to manage all of the activity that we're seeing.
Sure. Well, what are the advantages of membership versus just paying as you play?
Sure. The number one thing that we get from our members is they want to be able to make tee times in advance.
Right.
If you go to GreerGolf.com and you look at today, or actually if you look at today or tomorrow or the next couple of days, you're probably going to see there's only a couple tee times each day that you can find. You have to really get a tee time in advance. And for the public or just the general person that's going to pay their greens fee as they come, they can get a tee time 7 days in advance, while our members can get them 2 weeks in advance.
Yeah. Red, is this kind of unusual for a city to own a golf course like this, or are there other municipal courses out there?
There's a handful in the state, and we spoke with them in the very beginning when we purchased it. I think the City of Goose Creek has one, and then also, the City of Charleston has the Muni course that's very popular. Sherall State Park has a course, but I would say throughout the state, there's probably about maybe 6 or 8 courses that are owned by government entities, whether it be state park, county government, or city government.
Sure. Red, I have fond memories of the Greer City's parks, recreation, tourism, playing football, baseball. Golf is a great addition to that. What kind of programs do you have for kids who are maybe interested in starting to play golf?
Sure. So we have the First Tee. We're very involved with the First Tee Upstate. They do a wonderful job. As a matter of fact, we're right in the middle of a 5-week session of clinics right now. The first week was for girls only, and then the next 4 are for boys and girls. And we've also partnered with Greer Golf now, which is an organization kind of similar to the First Tee. And then we're also looking at reaching out to some of the surrounding courses in Greenville and Spartanburg County to see if we could maybe put together some sort of competitive junior golf opportunity. For example, maybe we get some kids and we put them through a program and practice and play, and then we'll take them over to Willow Creek or Links of Tryon, whoever wants to participate, and just kind of get kids used to the whole competitive golf match experience, and we're hoping to grow the game like that.
Yeah, and that would be great, Red, because, I love playing golf. I'm not that great at playing golf. I just wish I had started much sooner. I was in my 20s before I picked up the first golf club, and so that is. And what about adults? And I know you have a practice facility there and all. Do you have lessons for adults as well?
We do. We have our general manager and assistant general manager both give lessons, and we've made substantial investments to our practice facility. The driving range, we've installed 2 additional hitting areas. One of those is synthetic turf, so even for those diehard golfers that want to go out and hit balls in the rain, they can come out and enjoy the rain or our driving range on the synthetic turf. But I'm sure our staff is available to give lessons. We do group clinics. And then, we offer range memberships for those people. It's very, very competitive if you visit our website. And basically, you pay one fee for the year, and you can come and hit as many balls on the range as you like.
Wow. And again, that website is GreerGolf.com, GreerGolf.com. You can find out all about the golf course, make your tee times. And Red, in addition to the golf course, of course, you have a newly renovated 10,000 square foot clubhouse, a new swimming pool. Talk with us about that.
Sure. So we completed the renovation last year, and that renovation basically encompassed, we gutted the basement and moved our golf cart fleet underneath the clubhouse, which is much more efficient for our operation. We renovated the pro shop, and then we made substantial renovations to our dining room and kitchen. We brought in a partner, the restaurant White Wine and Butter, who has been very successful, and they have been extremely important to our operation, and they support a lot of what we do. Of course, we support them. And also, as part of that renovation, we took the old swimming pool that was there, and it was basically a little bit bigger than a residential swimming pool in most people's backyards, and it wasn't big enough for us to be able to publicly offer it. So we filled the pool in. We've made that space an event space that you can rent for private parties or gatherings, but it's also open after your round if you just want to go and grab a drink or a refreshment or a snack or something to eat. You can sit out there with your friends and find out who won the match or who lost the match, and sit out there and just kind of hang out. It's a really cool space, and it's been extremely popular since we've opened it.
Yeah. Red Watson is on our guest line today. He is the Assistant Director of the City of Greer's Parks, Recreation, and Tourism. Red, golf is just part of what you guys do in the Parks and Recreation program in Greer. It's been around a long time. As I mentioned earlier, I played football, I played baseball. It was a big part of my youth, starting when I was old enough to play in my first baseball league. Talk with us about the other sports that you guys offer.
Sure. So we've got several divisions in our department. We've got, as you just said, athletics. We also have what we would call recreation, which does like our senior citizen activities, summer camps, after-school camps. We have a cultural arts division that does our music concert at City Park. They have plays for the Greer Children's Theater. They also have summer camps, arts camps for kids. We have our special events division, which will be running our annual Freedom Blast event on June 28th at Greer City Park. That's a huge undertaking. And then we do a lot of other festivals throughout the year, but they also manage all of the rentals at City Hall, so people that rent it to get married or have class reunions and such. And then we also have a tourism division who, if you've seen Discover Greer on social media, they're over all of that branding and really focusing on bringing people into Greer and all of the opportunities that we have. So our department really it has a lot going on. We're very robust. We do other things such as we're installing a trail called the South Tiger River Greenway, and it will run from our baseball fields on Country Club Road, kind of underneath Country Club Road, and it'll actually connect to the golf course at the driving range.
Wow.
So a lot of people don't realize the full scale of everything we do. We feel like we've got our hands in a little bit of everything, but it's basically all about quality of life. We want to make sure that the people of Greer have the best quality of life possible.
Yeah, and boy, you've done a great job. You have been a part of the program for many years, Red, and I appreciate what you do there. And congratulations, by the way. I know a couple of years ago you were named the South Carolina Recreation and Parks Association Professional of the Year. That's a huge honor.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm only as good as the people that I work with and work for. It was a huge honor, and I appreciate that. But I give all of that credit to our staff and the programs that they bring to the table, and it's all a group effort.
Yeah. As mentioned, of course, I'm very familiar with the program. Grew up in the program. It was a lot different then. I spent a lot of time at the skating rink, bowling, and all those things. How important, Red, is it to, as Greer has grown and our leaders have done a magnificent job, I believe, of managing that growth. But how important is it for someone who maybe is looking to move to Greer, or maybe a business is looking to relocate or build another facility in Greer, that recreation be a big part of the community?
I think it's so understated, but it's so important. You have to look at, things like the opportunities for your children, the opportunities for your employees when they're not at work. What's within walking distance? How quickly can they get to a park if they just want to take a leisure stroll? Or, a lot of people may not have the capability to join or pay for a gym. We have outdoor fitness stations at parks. We try to provide opportunities for everyone, and we try to do everything for everybody, and that's of course not always going to be possible, but we're always accepting to ideas and suggestions from the public, and we just want to make everybody happy. Again, quality of life comes down to how happy are you outside of all the other things during the day that are monotonous. We want to provide opportunities for people to get away, unplug, hit the reset button, and just kind of enjoy nature, enjoy sports, socialize with their friends, and do it in safe and beautiful facilities and parks and through programs that we offer.
Yeah. Red, if someone wants to know about the other programs, I know we've talked about GreerGolf.com. You can go there to check on your tee time, that type of thing. But if someone wants to know about these other activities, what's the best website for them to go to?
cityofgreersc.gov. We've recently had a domain change. It used to just be cityofgreer.org, and if that pops up on people's autofill when they're in their space bar and in the search bar, it'll still redirect you there. But for those that have not been there before, it's cityofgreersc.gov, and then you just click on departments and parks, and then Parks, Recreation, and Tourism, and you'll see all of our divisions, all of our upcoming events, registrations for sports, camps, clinics, all that's located right there.
Yeah, cityofgreersc.gov. And again, if you want to make that tee time, go to greergolf.com. Red Watson, thank you for your time today. Appreciate what you're doing in my hometown of Greer. And hey, let's catch up again soon.
Absolutely. Be happy to come back anytime, and I appreciate you having me, Joy.
Sure thing. That's it for this special weekend edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.